from last week, I promised to keep track of every number of outreach and what was the result and improvement in every week, right? And so similarly this week, this is the second week of tracking the numbers. And since this is our 89th, 90th active day, that's like 3 months of active SMMA. So this is about like 12th week, right? End of 12th week, but second week of tracking the numbers officially. And yeah, this is the SMMA weekly overview from 20th of May to 24th of May. How many number of outreaches that we have done? What was the accountability looking like? What was the result from the number of meetings booked? How many meetings actually showed up? What was the increase in, what was the increase in outcome? I'll keep sharing that in this video. So yeah, again, 9 meetings booked in the last 7 days, right? There's no improvement, which should have been like 15 meetings every week has to be there. If the number of meetings are low, then the show up rates must be like 70%. Otherwise, we haven't done anything. Like 2 guys working on something must have 25 meetings booked, right, on the calendar every week. At least after like 3 months of doing it, and we know how to exactly book meetings. So the only thing that we are lacking is in the consistency, and that's on me. So yeah, things come up, and I think that is a very important thing that I have to improve moving forward. Emergencies and stuff, but we have to cover it up when there is no emergencies. And some days, and you feel like things are going good, number of meetings booked are higher. You should just book for the entire week if possible, right? And then that would mean like if tomorrow something comes up, then you have the chance not to work and still have meetings on the calendar and only work on showing up, like helping them show up. So I missed out on that. So next week I will make sure that even if there's a good day for us, which I had one good day, I'll be sharing that. If I have a good day, then instead of just saying, oh, we booked like 5 meetings a day, that's good, cheers, congratulations. Instead of saying that, I should just keep on going and book like 5 more for day after tomorrow, right? Monday we had like, for the Tuesday, and one for Wednesday was booked. Tuesday we had like 2 meetings only, and that was like both for Wednesday, so that's the reason Wednesday has like 3 meetings booked. And on Wednesday it was a really lucky day, like it was good numbers, 4 meetings booked in just one day, and then it was all for Thursday. Not everyone showed up, we just had 2 sales calls from those 4. One was a mistake from our end, that could have been a show up, but we messed up. I'll share with you what exactly we did. And the 4th one was like, he was completely ghosting us, right? So there's no connection with him, no contact with him made after the meeting was booked. And so yeah, some was rescheduled to Friday and Saturday. And you can see like 10 in total, but actually it's 9. This one and this one is the same person. So he could not show up here, so we had to reschedule. Instead of rescheduling this one, we actually booked again on this. How does the number look like? This is the interesting part, right? I'm glad about this part because the starting of the week, you can see like the first day of the week is really supercharged. You have a good amount of rest Saturday and Sunday. You have enough reason to make sure the number of dials are set, and not a good number. Ideal number should be more than that, but it's okay for now. So 105 dials done, 30 pickup, not bad, but can be better. But it was Monday, so it's okay. 14 pitches done, right? And out of 14 pitches, only 3 meetings booked, which is a good number, right? See, if I'm booking 100, I'm doing 100 calls and I'm booking 3 meetings, it's a really good number. But ideally, I want always to target like 5 to 7 meetings out of 100, right? And that makes it much easier for us to have the number of sales calls and focus more on showing up and improving the other metrics because the flow is good. 105, 3 meetings booked, this is average, this is normal number. And on 21st of May, that's like Tuesday, I was able to call I only called like 88 people, and the same number of pickups, the pickup rates was higher. And I think if I did like 3 more pitches, then I could have called 1 more meeting. But anyways, it's about 2 meetings booked and Tuesday. And then it was 22nd of May, that's Wednesday. This was a really good day. 47 dials done, 17 pickups. Out of 47, 17 pickups. And I was able to pitch only 7, but out of 7, I was able to book 4 meetings. And I was really excited. This is what I was sharing, right? If you get a day like this, you should like triple this number, and instead of 4, get 12 meetings, so that you book 5 here, 6, 7 here, and 7 here, right? 12 meetings in total. Instead of me, I just stopped doing it because I was excited. So yeah, next week, if I get something like this, I'll try my best, because it's very difficult, right? Calling is not easy. I mean, I have dialed like 185 a day as well, but it is not easy. It is absolutely not easy. It's like it's a soul sucker, right? So you lose a lot of energy because you have to go through the number of dials, and you see like rejections and disappointment. No one is picking up. When someone picks up, after 12 dials, someone picks up, and that is a gatekeeper. After 10 more dials, someone picks up and they say, hey, hello. You say, hey, is this Juan, or am I speaking with XYZ? And they're like, they immediately see, okay, it's just a sales call, and they hang up. And then you can dial like 7 more numbers, and again someone picks up, and then you go through the pitch, and in between the pitch, in the middle of the pitch, they hang up, and then again you have to dial like 10 more number, and then you get 1 pitch. So it's like a lot of iterations, and you have to keep going. It's very difficult to keep yourself in that flow of mental state and focus. But anyways, you have to hit this number so that the number of meetings is set. So this is something that I'm saying about myself. This is how I experienced it. Your experience can be different. It was a bad week in terms of consistency. Like, it just kept dropping and to zero and zero. Like, no dials done. Of course, I was very sick. I had like serious food poisoning, so I was actually in a hospital. But that is the reason I'm saying that this day could have been capitalized so that this and this could have been a full calendar. But regardless, 9 meetings is not something that everyone gets every week, right? So it's still a win for us. But now I'll be sharing with you something that's interesting. And we had like 4 sales calls. Last week we had like out of 9, only 3 of them showed up. And this week out of 9, we have 4 of them showed up. 4 sales calls done, 3 of them ghosted us entirely, and 2 of them canceled the meeting because it was not good enough for them, right? So it's okay. We always focus on this number. We believe both of these cancel actually could have been a show up, and then after someone shows up and then they are like not interested, that's absolutely fine, but it's like it increases the law of average. So this 2 cancel I believe should have been a show up if we could have done things better. And what went wrong is, from our end, one of these guys when we called before the meeting and asked like, hey, we had the meeting in 2 hours, is there anything coming up between us, hopping on and having this conversation? And he was like, no, that's totally fine. But can you tell me what exactly is it for? About, I really am busy. So can you tell me what exactly the call would be about? And how is it going to work? Like, let's not waste time, back and forth, and just tell me. And we actually, succumbed to that, gave up, and we complied to his request, and we just shared him, right, without a proper rapport building, without understanding, without a sales framework. And then he was interested in the 14-day trial period. We have a 14-day trial period going on. He was interested in that. But what happened is and then he asked okay, what happens after the 14-day trial? Do I still keep on paying for the ads? And we were like, yeah, that's how it works. But since there was no connection between, it was easy for him to say, what, fuck off, man, like, take me off the list. He said like, no, that doesn't work with me. Take me off the list. I'm not interested. Right? So we lost a meeting just because of that. So I would say, like, if you have someone who is asking you to give some more information over the phone instead of complying with them, I would suggest saying that what, anyways, the goal for us is to not waste time for both you and me, right? I mean, like, 20 minutes out of 24 hours is not something that we're not asking insanely huge amount of time. But at the same time, can I ask a quick question? Yeah. Is it absolutely impossible for you to completely focus 20 minutes today? If it's absolutely impossible, then we can reschedule. I have one slot tomorrow, 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. I can, have that. And, I can give you some reminders so that it helps you to schedule tomorrow better, right? Would that help you in any way? So that we can, completely focus on this. And I mean, like, 20 minutes is not a big deal, right? So if I will make sure that it's the best conversation that you can possibly have. Even if we don't say yes to each other, then I'll make sure that you get enough value out of it so that 20 minutes doesn't look like a waste of time. Because last thing I want is, to have a conversation with you and find out that, you're not interested at all. It's not something that's aligning with our vision, where we could have had better use of the time ourselves from my end as well. Does it make sense? And then they will say like, yeah, it makes sense. So, always have control of the conversation. Don't let them ask a question and then you answer and then you stop. Right? Whenever they ask a question, always I would suggest to answer briefly in such a way that mildly taps them on the back. Good question. Good question. But here's my question: do you think this is going to work better? This is my suggestion. What do you think about that? And then reschedule them for the next day so that it still has a chance of showing up, right? And once they, next day you have more rapport built already because there's like multiple touch points, and this is already a warm conversation. And by the time they will be on the sales call, they will have multiple touch points with your company, with your people. It's either you or your teammate. For us, it's Jan. So by then, what happens is like on the sales call, it's like, okay, I already had conversation with you multiple times. It's not a cold conversation, so they are a little bit warmed up. I think reschedules are a negative thing in terms of we lose time there. We could have had like one more sales call tomorrow, but we have to reschedule the same call 2 days, and we lose 1 hour here and 1 hour there as well, right? But what happens is like the conversations are a little bit warmer, and it helps build the rapport and take more information out of that. But anyways, this is something that we have done. Instead, it could have been 6 sales calls done out of 9 meetings. That could have made the show up rate, which is 44.45, almost 45% now, could have been 67, 66%, right? Now 44% is 10%, like 11% better than last week. We had like 33% show up rate. This week only like a little bit of improvement, but it is still an improvement. So I think like 2 more this could have been added here, but it's on us. We will improve that. And out of the 4 sales calls, we were able to pitch to 3. We were able to completely have the conversation pitched to 3 of these guys. And out of the 3 people, 1 of them were interested. It was a really long conversation, about 45-50 minutes. Jan took the sales call. Jan is always taking the sales calls, and they had really some good questions, and they had some interest, and then we had to call them back 2 days later, and I shared the video as well prior, like 2-3 videos prior, about Jan calling them up, and they were interested to move forward. So they already tried making the setup fee payment, and it just failed for some reason from their bank part. We just had like another call, and they were like, we're looking on it. And Tuesday we will most probably we'll be having the onboarding call on Tuesday. This week was a little bit better, and that is the reason I'm happy, right? It's not ideal. It's far from ideal. 25 meetings a week is the goal, and we only booked like 9 meetings again. But the show-up rates had increased. We have understood how exactly to make it even better. If we get to 66% or 70% show-up rate, and we can book 25 meetings with 70% show-up rate, that's like 5 meetings, 5 sales calls a day for 5 days a week. That is about like 25, right? If I can book 7 meetings a day for 5 days of the week, that's 35 meetings booked and 25 sales calls done. Over the period of 4 weeks, that's like 100 sales calls. I mean, like that would be an impossible thing to lose. That is the ideal goal right now for the next month. And I will make sure that the meetings are, since it's on me, just on me. And if the meetings are not booked, the entire, the team lags behind, and that's on me. So I take responsibility for that, so that coming week we can have like a better number. I mean, yeah, it's absolutely because of the meeting. If there's no meetings booked, there is no sales calls done, there is no working on increasing show-up rates, there's nothing happening, right? So the number of meetings is the most important thing. That's the reason I take care of it, because I want to make sure that once I can understand how to book meetings, everything else can be it will be sorted in just a blink of an eye. So number of meetings booked has to be perfectly aligned, and I'll be sharing the next week very soon. I hope you find some value out of it, and cheers.